Now on CoastTV News.
Shoreline stranding shock. The update on the beach whale found near Bethany Beach on Thursday and the efforts underway by the Mayor Institute.
Dark sky discussion. What is expected in a draft ordinance about regulating lights in the city?
Friday is here, Delmarva. So is another round of 60-degree temperatures. Tracking a few showers this evening with rain over the weekend. I'll have the latest on how much you can expect.
Pecan tree toppled. A beloved tree goes down in Milton. The next steps for the land and that tree.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerle. Today is Friday, January 9th, 2026.
Yeah, we are arriving at the weekend. There's some NFL playoff action. I know you're aware of this one heading into the weekend. Our producer, Alyssa, First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobonos, their beloved birds are in action.
Favorites, which I'm hoping that this goes well for everyone. And also, I'm a big believer in like signs and everything.
Oh.
And we want to share with you something that we found. It's that tomorrow, National Save the Eagles Day. That has to be a sign. It has to be a good omen for these people. Chris is going to flap his wings. He's so excited.
Can we see that, Chris? Can you take a selfie?
Can we get a little something, a little flap?
Selfie? I'll take a selfie in my Eagles. I'll be wearing my Eagles shirt. I'm going to be wearing Eagles stuff all weekend. I have an Eagles polo over here in the Weather Center, actually. As we take a live look into Cambridge, we are seeing temperatures right in the mid to upper 30s there, 36 degrees, and we're at 34 Gumboro, 30 Salisbury, a little milder here along the coast. We're at 43 in Rehoboth, and that's all thanks to the wind coming off that milder ocean. But for the most part, winds are on the calm side. So we'll start with a few breaks in the clouds this morning, but clouds are going to generally be on the increase today ahead of this storm system that's still back off across the Tennessee and Ohio River valleys. That's going to spread rain into the area as early as this evening, as a few showers are going to be rolling in this evening, but the main rain rolls in Saturday. We're looking at highs getting right around 60 as those clouds begin to increase throughout the day today. So enjoy the 60s. They're not going to last all that much longer because we are tracking colder temperatures in that extended forecast. I'll show you that, plus how much rain we could expect to see. Full 7-day forecast in minutes.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour, we have an update on the story we first told you about on Thursday. A dead whale spotted off the coast of Bethany Beach that morning has been identified as a juvenile male humpback whale.
And you can see him on your screen now. The whale washed ashore near Ocean Ridge Drive, north of Bethany's downtown, but south of Matt's Fish Camp.
The Mayor Institute says it doesn't have enough information to determine the cause of death at this time.
The mayor is attempting to coordinate with Denmarva to move the whale out of the water and onto the beach so they can perform his postmortem necropsy.
Delaware is no stranger to these unfortunate occurrences. You may remember there was a 30-foot, 14-ton humpback whale that washed ashore at Conquest Road at Delaware Seashore State Park last year. Video is of the scene in March of 2025, and according to the Mayor Institute, the young female was later buried. That can help the ecosystem by allowing other organisms to feed on it.
And soon after, in April of 2025, a dead whale was found in the Indian River Bay. According to the Mayor Institute, the 35 humpback whale had already begun decomposing when it was found. You can see these photos on your screen now, showing crews preparing to tow the whale to shore to perform a necropsy.
New this morning, Rehoboth Beach looking at becoming dark sky friendly. According to officials, the city says it doesn't have a formal rule regulating outdoor lighting.
CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is in our newsroom. And Elisa, today the city could approve a draft ordinance to lighting regulations.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. According to the city of Rehoboth Beach, a couple of years ago, a resolution relating to dark skies was adopted, but formal rules regulating lights throughout the entire city was not put into place. But today, the city's environmental committee is actually going to look at the draft of an ordinance that they are calling the Rehoboth Beach Dark Sky Ordinance. The purpose would be to establish regulations and a process to review outdoor lighting. The city says the rules aim to minimize direct glare and prevent excessive lighting, which would improve views of the night sky. They claim it will help preserve Rehoboth Beach's quality of life, as well as promote wildlife habitation and migration, provide sufficient lighting where it is needed to promote safety and security, conserve energy, and more. And that ordinance will be reviewed this morning at 10 o'clock. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. Also at that meeting today in Rehoboth Beach, the committee is looking at regulations for artificial turf. It's for turf that would take the place of natural grass lawns. The city's building and licensing department has drafted an artificial turf ordinance, and they're asking the Environmental Advisory Committee to review it. This comes as some property owners are opting for the artificial turf as opposed to maintaining natural grass lawns. Recommendations to the city's administrator are expected in March.
The Blue 9 Network is having an event in Sussex County to honor Delaware State Police Corporal Matthew Ty Snook, who was killed in the line of duty. The event will take place Sunday, January 18th at Hudson Fields in Milton. Vehicles will be directed through a designated area where volunteers will place a memorial sticker on the rear window of each car. And there is no charge for the sticker, but donations are requested. Organizers say 100% of the donations will go directly to the Snook family.
And an update to a story that we brought to you on Thursday. Action by Georgetown's Supportive Housing Committee. The committee voted to back the idea of bringing cottage homes to Georgetown. The committee was formed to help local organizations combat homelessness. Members are expected to give a presentation on this to the Georgetown Town Council in a future meeting.
There it goes. A decades-old southern pecan tree in Milton has been torn down. This is at Route 16 and Union Street. The tree was torn down to make way for a new Royal Farms. The man who cut down the tree said it's actually not as old as people had originally thought.
We had some slow years right here. We had some rapid growth in here, and rapid growth out here. 20 inches. It's tickling between 80 and 100 years old.
According to Simpson, the wood from the tree is not going to go to waste, but will be used for furniture and more. Now, that tree was a subject of protest. People in Milton gathering weeks ago to try and save the tree. Denmark says the tree was the tallest southern pecan in our state.
New this morning, with Maryland already facing a $1 billion budget deficit, Governor Wes Moore is proposing a record $2.2 billion of taxpayer money for Maryland's K through 12 public schools as part of his fiscal year 2027 budget. The proposal is an increase of over $373 million compared to last year's budget. And the budget includes nearly $11 million for a new academic excellence program and more than $480 million for school construction projects. And for more details on the proposed education funding in Maryland, you can head to the article on our website, CoastTV.com. This just in, the FBI is confirming that shooting in Portland, Oregon, involving Customs and Border Patrol that injured 2 civilians during immigration operations.
This comes as protests continue in Minneapolis and cities across the country after an ICE agent shot and killed a woman on Wednesday. NBC's Alice Barr showing us how state and local leaders in Minnesota say they're being shut out of the investigation into the shooting, which the Trump administration says was justified.
This morning, another American city roiled by a shooting during an immigration operation, this time in Portland, Oregon, where a Border Patrol agent shot and injured 2 people during a targeted traffic stop. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson says the car's passenger was an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela involved in a recent Portland shooting, and that they and the driver are both accused of ties to the Tren de Aragua gang. DHS says when Border Patrol agents identified themselves, the driver tried to run them over, and an agent fired defensive shots. The car fled, then called for help.
Our officers responded. We found a male and a female with apparent gunshot wounds. The patients were transported to local hospital, and their conditions at this time are unknown.
We are calling on ICE to halt all operations in Portland until a full and independent investigation can take place.
That amid growing protests nationwide over the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good by an ICE officer in Minneapolis. Investigators say Good, a U.S. citizen and mother of 3, was blocking the road with her car. Video shows officers approach, one stepping in front of the vehicle, and when the driver pulls forward and turns right, an officer fires multiple rounds, killing her. Vice President J.D. Vance defending the officer's actions.
You have a woman who was trying trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. I can believe that her death is a tragedy while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making.
State and local officials sharply refute the administration's narrative and are outraged that state law enforcement was shut out of the FBI's investigation. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
New overnight, an unexpected power outage causing a tense scene at Disneyland on Thursday, forcing dozens of riders to evacuate from the park's iconic monorail. About 60 people were stranded on the tracks near the Space Mountain attraction. The Anaheim Police Department say the first responders were called in to assist, and they used ladders to safely evacuate passengers from the stopped train cars.
Last night in the college football semifinal in the Fiesta Bowl, the Miami Hurricanes on this Carson Beck touchdown run. 18 seconds is all that remained. That defeated Mississippi. Miami will play the winner of tonight's Indiana-Oregon game for the national championship.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up on Coast TV News Today this hour, the work plan for parts of Route 50 in Wicomico County.
Also, leaders consider data center, how rules in Harrington would need to change in order to allow the addition.
And new Girl Scout cookie, what's it made of and how long cookie season runs. Coast TV News Today, we'll be right back.
Hope this Friday morning is treating you well, Delmarva, as we take a live look in through Lewis. Temperatures there right around 37 degrees, dew point 35. We're at 34 Salisbury, 35 Princess Anne, 36 Cambridge. A little milder there in Bethany and Ocean City, where we were in the lower 40s. Showers still back off across portions of Ohio, Indiana, and the Tennessee River Valley. All of this moisture is eventually going to make its way into the Delmarva Peninsula. As early as this evening, we'll see a few showers, but the bulk of the rain comes in on Saturday, and that rain will be heavy at times throughout the day tomorrow. So enjoy the warmth. We continue to thaw out here on Delmarva, rising from the 30s this morning into the lower 60s this afternoon under mostly cloudy skies. We'll have the latest rainfall totals here in minutes.
Thank you, Chris. New this morning, DENREC is accepting project proposals for its surface water matching planning grants. The agency says that grants of up to $50,000 are available with a one-to-one cash match required. The grants are funded through Delaware's Clean Water Revolving Fund, and they're aimed at reducing runoff and improving water quality in impaired watersheds. The deadline to submit proposals is 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, February 18th.
$9 million in funding has been approved for parks and land conservation across Maryland, including in Wicomico County. The State Board of Public Works says money from program Open Space will go toward the upgrades. This will be at the East Wicomico Little League fields. Money also approved for surveying a potential rural legacy conservation easement along Quantico Creek.
And this is most exciting news today in our newsroom. Girl Scout Cookies unboxing a new cookie flavor for 2026. As this year's National Cookie Season kicks off, you'll be seeing these Explore Mores along with some fan favorites. Now this one is a Rocky Road ice cream inspired sandwich cookie. They say it's filled with flavors of chocolate, marshmallow, toasted almond, flavored cream, and the Girl Scout Cookie Season runs from January through April.
Ooh, just in time, Grace, to have a couple cookies for Puppy Bowl, this year's canine sports event. It's on Super Bowl Sunday. It'll look a little different this year. For the first time, there are 15 pups with special needs. There's also a special exhibition game that will spotlight senior dogs available for adoption. Team Oldies versus Team Goldies. And all the Puppy Bowl will highlight 150 dogs from more than 70 shelters.
Looking forward to that, and we also are looking forward to another day of mild temperatures. We're going to get right back up into the lower 60s, but yeah, we have some rain to talk about. Unfortunately, bad timing for that right into the day on Saturday. I'll have the latest timing and rainfall totals on Coast TV News Today. Comes right back.
Time is 6:17, and we're giving you a live look at the pre-dawn scene at the Roosevelt Inlet in Lewis. And Chris, let's talk 60-degree temperatures in early January.
Yeah, we're going for those 60s for the second time this week. We were at 64 on Wednesday, and yeah, Pleasant thaw continues here on the peninsula. We're at 34 right now in Laurel. That's one of the cool spots this morning, and you can see that rise in temperature throughout the week. Average high 45. So there was that 64 on Wednesday, and we're going to be right back in the lower 60s as we push through the afternoon today. We're at 34 Millsboro, 33 Delmar, 30 now in Salisbury, but a little milder here at the beaches, 45 in Lewis, 41 in Bethany Beach. Winds relatively calm across the peninsula, but the wind direction is out of the southeast. So we're clear, we're dry for now, but clouds are going to be increasing through the day today as this warm front eventually pushes into the area later on, and then eventually the cold front, which is still well back off to the west, and we're going to have some rounds of rain to get through here over the next 24 to 36 hours. We're at 64 this afternoon in Lewis, 61 in Lewis, 64 in Milford, 61 in Cambridge, 62 Vienna, so lower 60s, especially away from the coast through the afternoon today. So there's those clouds increasing. As we go into the evening, a little impulse of energy is going to move across the area, giving us a little chance of a shower after about 7 o'clock tonight. Mostly cloudy skies overnight with some fog developing. A mild night. We're only going to fall into the 40s and 50s. And then there's that rain rolling in late tomorrow morning in through the afternoon. And that rain will be heavy at times. Possible rumble of thunder as well. Then as we go into the evening, we stay rather mild and with scattered showers as that cold front still back off to the west. That front's going to move through in the wee small hours of the morning on Sunday, and then we're looking at much drier conditions by Sunday afternoon. But it is going to turn much more blustery as we go through the afternoon and into the early evening of Sunday. So rainfall is going to generally be around a ½ inch to an inch on the order across the peninsula. We could see some locally higher amounts of 1.25 inches once all is said and done by early Sunday morning. Now the winds are going to pick up as well, especially late tomorrow afternoon through the evening, gusting out of the south to 30 miles an hour. Pick up even more as the front pushes through late Sunday afternoon, gusting to near 40 miles an hour. We're at 64 degrees this afternoon, increasing clouds with that evening shower chance, 47 overnight, spotty shower early. Otherwise, most of the overnight is dry with that patchy fog. 63 with periods of rain, turns breezy, especially late in the day. We're down to 50 on Sunday. Turns windy in through Monday. We're down to 42 on Monday under mostly sunny skies. And then we're looking pretty dry through the start of next week as we see a little bit of a pattern change by late next week. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Officials are looking at putting data centers in Harrington. This week, an informational workshop was held to learn what data centers are and what they would require. One potential site for the center is the former Harrington Logistics Building, which closed in 2025. Supporters say a data center would boost the local economy, while critics warn it could strain infrastructure and also raise utility costs.
I do think that Harrington's a really good growing area in a great part of the state, and I do think that a data center would be beneficial in this area.
Anything with a data center, they're concerned about the electric pool, also the water, that the consumption that it uses, and I think these are some of the concerns that the council has because we do have an older water system.
While no formal proposals have been submitted, the city would first need to amend the ordinance to allow data centers use as a conditional use in manufacturing zones. City officials say the next council meeting is scheduled for January 20th, though it's not clear if the topic is going on the agenda.
After the break on CoastTV News today, from the arcade to the ocean, there's a little adventure waiting for everyone this weekend. Stay tuned for cool things to do. We'll be right back. Maryland's Department of Transportation gearing up for major intersection improvements along Route 50. This is the intersection of 50 and Old Railroad Road in Hebron area. Crews plan to put up a new traffic signal and make safety upgrades aimed at improving traffic flow. Neighbors say it's been an issue for quite some time now, and data backs that up. Since 2019, MDOT says there have been 54 crashes, one of which killed someone.
I take the back roads to go home because I want to avoid these intersections at all costs because I feel like that it's not safe. So I feel like if they put a light here that now I can use the intersection more.
MDOT says the $3.5 million project is expected to wrap up by the end of the year.
Hope it's a wonderful start to your Friday morning. Delmarva taking a live look into Lewis. Temperature there of 37 degrees. Winds are pretty calm across much of the peninsula this hour. We're going to rise into the upper 50s through most of our beach locations this afternoon. Clouds will be increasing through the day, but another mild day is going to be ahead of us here. And as we get into Rehoboth and Lewis, we'll be right around the lower 50s by lunchtime. And then in the Cambridge, we'll start off with some sun. Clouds increase. We do stay dry through most of the day in through Cambridge and Crisfield. After about 7 o'clock tonight, we'll see a few showers roll in across the region. Patty Donovan, congratulations, Dover, Delaware there, winning an umbrella from Coast TV. And you can give our Coast TV First Alert Weather phone a call for your latest forecast. We will talk about mild temperatures continuing, but rain to start the weekend in the next half hour.
Let's talk more about the weekend because fun is the name of the game. You can hit the arcade, spot some seals, or you could play some bingo.
I could play some bingo. Hey, I think the seals actually are kind of up my alley.
That's your game?
Maybe.
All right.
Well, hopefully no whales, but Christina DeRivers has your cool things to do this weekend.
If your New Year's resolution is to have more fun in 2026, this is a great weekend for you. Let's begin at Zelke's Beach Arcade in Rehoboth. They're hosting a play-a-thon starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday. It's all games, prizes, and giveaways, and let's be honest, no one is too old for skee-ball. Or if you're more into coastal wildlife, you can grab a jacket and head out with Cape Water Tours. Seal season is here, and the Mare Institute will be on board to tell you all about these cute little creatures. That's at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Over at Cape Henlopen State Park, you've got options. Saturday at 11, there's art in the park, a chance to walk the trails and sketch the natural world. Or if your weekend plans include a wagging tail, Sunday's pack walk at Gordon's Pond is a great excuse to get outside. All breeds are welcome, leashes are required, and the walk gets moving right at 11 a.m. And Saturday night in Millsboro, it's time for Designer Bag Bingo. The event starts at 5:30 at the Indian River Fire Hall. Proceeds support the Millsboro Bagel Bombers. That's a travel baseball team. For all the details, you can head over to CoastTV.com and click on Cool Things to Do.
Now on Coast TV News.
Humpback heartbreak, what the Mare Institute is attempting after a dead whale is found in Bethany Beach.
Cottage concept confirmed. The initiative that's being pushed in Georgetown to address a growing homeless situation.
Sky-saving standards. We look at the light plane in Rehoboth Beach that is attempting to move forward today.
Friday is here, Delmarva. So is another round of 60-degree temperatures, tracking a few showers this evening with rain over the weekend. I'll have the latest on how much you can expect.
This is Coast TV News Today.
January 9th, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. Thank you for joining us.
6:30 a.m. We have reached Friday. You know how I feel about Fridays.
They're your favorite.
Favorite day of the week. And we have a really, sounds like a good morning, good afternoon to get outside and do some fun stuff.
Exactly. We had some nice weather the past few days. It almost reminded me of that kind of time in late May where you're pushing Memorial Day weekend. We have 20 weekends left until Memorial Day. I feel like that's when summer kind of, the unofficial start to summer,
absolutely.
Where things come alive.
You know, the weather we've had recently kind of is, I have that vibe when
Ooh,
I was in college.
You're catching a vibe?
When I was in college, that you'd have that like sort of like nice spring day, but it would be in March, like a 60-degree day in March.
And it was like a little taste, a little teaser.
Exactly.
Go out, get a drink with your friends, enjoy, do your homework outside if you're into
that,
it.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, now I'm getting excited for springtime. Chris, and you're saying that it's not going to feel like this forever.
No, unfortunately. So get out and enjoy it because there are signs that we may be seeing a pattern change late next week to more cold and more stormy weather for more typical weather for winter. As we take a live look into Laurel there, waiting for that sun to rise here at 7:19, 33 degrees right now in Laurel. Temperatures have fallen into the upper 20s to lower 30s away from the beaches, due in part to the clear skies and calm winds we've had. You see the wind flow off the ocean, so that's why we're a bit milder at the beaches in the lower 40s, but we are dry, and we're going to stay that way at least through the afternoon. We'll see a few light showers stream into the area, but you can see plenty more moisture back off across the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys, and that moisture is going to eventually push into our area tonight. Partly cloudy skies to start, mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon. We'll top out right around 60 degrees, and then we'll see those showers roll in later on this evening after about 7 o'clock tonight. But the rain becomes steady tomorrow morning through the afternoon, and that rain will be heavy at times. Not a complete washout of a weekend because we are looking at decreasing cloud cover, but it does turn quite blustery as we go into the day on Sunday. We will talk about the rain and some colder temperatures in that 7-day forecast a little later on.
Thank you, Chris. Now it's our top story this morning. An update to a story that we first told you about on Thursday. A dead whale spotted off the coast of Bethany Beach that morning had been identified as a juvenile male humpback whale.
Yeah, we're showing you that whale right now on your screen. The whale washed ashore near Ocean Ridge Drive. That's north of Bethany's downtown area. Also, it's south of Matt's Fish Camp, if you're familiar with that area.
The Mayor Institute says it does not have enough information yet to determine the cause of death at this time.
Mayor's attempting to coordinate with DENREC to move the whale out of the water and onto the beach so that a post-mortem study can be conducted.
And unfortunately, Delaware is no stranger to these occurrences. You may remember a 30-foot, 14-ton humpback whale washing ashore at Conquest Road at Delaware Seashore State Park last year. That video is the scene in March of 2025, and according to the Mayor Institute, that female was later buried.
And in the next month, a dead whale found in the Indian River Bay. According to the Mayor Institute, the 35-foot humpback whale had already begun decomposing when it was found. These pictures show crews preparing to tow the whale to shore.
Yeah, really sad stuff there, Matt. Now in Rehoboth Beach, they're looking at becoming dark sky friendly. That's according to officials. The city says it does not have a formal rule regulating outdoor lighting.
CoastTV's Elisa Weber's in our newsroom. Today, the city could approve a draft ordinance to lighting regulations. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. According to the city, a couple of years ago, a resolution regulating and making the city dark skies friendly actually was passed, but the city says that a formal ordinance was never created to regulate lighting. But today, the city's environmental committee is actually going to look at the draft of an ordinance that is called the Rehoboth Beach Dark Skies Ordinance. The purpose would be to establish regulations and a process to review outdoor lighting. The city says the rules aim to minimize direct glare and prevent excessive lighting, which would improve views of the night sky. They claim it will help preserve Rehoboth Beach's quality of life, promote wildlife habitation and migration, provide sufficient lighting where it is needed to promote safety and security, conserve energy, and more. We did speak with one person who usually visits Rehoboth Beach in the early morning hours, who thinks things are fine just the way they are.
I really don't think that's necessary. I think that it works well. I never had any difficulty. It never ruined the scene for me. And to take the trade-off for safety, I'd be against that.
And the review of that ordinance will take place this morning at 10 a.m. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. Happening today in Rehoboth Beach, the committee looking at regulations for artificial turf. That is for the turf taking place of natural grass lawns. The city's building and licensing department has drafted an artificial turf ordinance and is asking the Environmental Advisory Committee to review it. This comes as some property owners are opting for the artificial turfs as opposed to maintaining natural grass lawns. Recommendations to the city's administration are expected in March. And the Blue Line Network is having an event in Sussex County to honor Delaware State Police Corporal Matthew Ty Snook, who was killed in the line of duty. This event will take place Sunday, January 18th at Hudson Fields in Milton. Vehicles will be directed through a designated area where volunteers will place a memorial sticker on the rear window of each car. There's no charge for the sticker, but donations are requested. Organizers say 100% of those donations will go directly to the Snook family.
New overnight, the FBI is investigating after 2 people were injured in a shooting involving Border Patrol agents in Portland, Oregon. That was on Thursday afternoon.
This comes a day after a woman was fatally shot by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. Reed Binion now showing us what caused the shooting and how lawmakers are responding.
We are all shaken and outraged.
Portland is not a training ground for militarized agents.
Oregon's governor and Portland's mayor reacting after 2 people were shot by federal agents in Portland Thursday.
A male and a female with apparent gunshot wounds. The patients were transported to local hospital, and their conditions at this time are unknown.
According to a senior law enforcement official, agents from a special operations unit for Customs and Border Protection tried to stop a vehicle with a suspected Tren de Aragua gang member. During the stop, the vehicle began to drive away, striking an agent, the official said. Shots were fired, hitting the vehicle.
It looks like Kohler saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well.
No agents were injured. The Department of Homeland Security said in a statement that an agent, quote, fired a defensive shot after the driver allegedly tried to run the agents over. Portland's mayor had this to say about the administration's description of what happened.
We know what the federal government says happened here. There was a time when we could take them at their word. That time is long past. We are calling on ICE to halt all operations in Portland until a full and independent investigation can take place.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
New this morning, a potential change to Delaware's Fairness in Girls Sports Act. Senate Bill 215 was introduced on Thursday. That would require schools to designate their athletic teams as either boy or girls. This builds on the act that requires athletes to play for teams that correspond to their biological sex. The bill is now getting reviewed in the Senate's Education Committee.
And an update to a story that we first brought you on Thursday. Action at another meeting of Georgetown's Supportive Housing Committee. The committee voted to back the idea of bringing cottage homes to Georgetown. The committee was formed to help local organizations combat homelessness. Members are expected to give a presentation on this to the Georgetown Council in a future meeting.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore proposing decoupling the state's vaccination guidance from the federal government. The VAX Act would authorize Maryland's Department of Health Secretary to issue official recommendations for immunizations, as well as screenings and disease prevention measures in the state. Now, this comes after the CDC decreased the number of recommended routine vaccinations from 18 to 11, and that happened this week.
The House has voted to revive the expired Obamacare funds for 3 years. The legislation passed by a vote of 230 to 196, with 17 Republican lawmakers joining all Democrats to resurrect the Affordable Care Act premium tax credits for about 22 million Americans. Previously rejecting the bill was Republicans to extend funds past the December 31st deadline. The bill now goes to the Senate, where Republican leaders have pronounced it dead on arrival.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, steeple taken down for repairs when church officials hope services can return to normal.
And 7-1 start. The fourth quarter surge that propelled Kate to another conference win. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Good morning, Delmarva. Beautiful start to our Friday. Chilly start across some parts of the peninsula. Right now in Laurel, we are at 33 degrees, 39 in Snow Hill, 33 Salisbury, but 41 lowest to 42 in Ocean City with a light southeast wind at this hour. We are tracking rain still off to the west across portions of Ohio and the Tennessee River valleys. This area of low pressure is going to kick up across the Great Lakes and swing those warm fronts and that cold front into our area later on over the next 2 days. Now, we are going to see mostly cloudy skies here through the afternoon, 64 degrees through the afternoon. We'll see a few light showers roll in this evening after about 7 o'clock tonight, and then we are looking at a better chance of rain into our Saturday. We'll track the rain chances and some colder air in that 7-day forecast here in minutes.
A 59-year-old Dover man is again accused of pocketing tens of thousands of dollars. Here's what we're talking about. Delaware State Police say Stephen Kurtz was paid more than $38,000 last year by a Rehoboth Beach man for a home improvement job that was never done. Kurtz was arrested on Wednesday, January 7th. He faces 2 felony charges. He was also charged in 2023 for a similar fraud case involving about $95,000. Delaware State Police asking anyone who thinks they may have been defrauded by Kurtz to contact them.
New this morning, according to DenRec's Division of Fish and Wildlife, starting January 11th, updates to the state's wildlife rules will impact hunting and access on wildlife areas across the state. The agency says that coyotes may now be hunted year-round. There is no longer a minimum age requirement for upcoming youth waterfowl and youth turkey hunts in February and April. And officials say people can now use the use of motorized electric cars in wildlife areas.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
If you like highlight plays, then you came to the right spot. Three-pointers, dunks, this game had it all. Up in Camden, Caesar Rodney hosted Cape Henlopen. Starting this game off is Steven Civils with an alley-oop to Jamison Tingle. What a start for the Vikings. The Riders immediately fire back, though, with this three-pointer in the corner from Caden Irizarry. Then Jackson Timmons from way back for another three-pointer for the Riders. Caesar Rodney leads 18-11 at the end of the first quarter. The Vikings start getting into a groove here. Civils from behind the three-point line. There you go. And it's Braxton Figgs dunking on his defender. Huge momentum shifter for the Vikings. But then Jackson Timmons from way back again for the Riders. Caesar Rodney only leads 37-35 at the end of the half. On to the second half now. Steven Civils gets left wide open. Three-pointer is good. And right at the buzzer for the end of the third quarter, Civils with another three-pointer taking the lead for the Vikings 55-52. Cape pulled away in the fourth quarter to win 79-61. Have a nice one, Delmarva.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 8:30, Y-High takes on Chickatee in boys basketball. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. And here's what you can catch only on DSN Plus today at 4 p.m. It is War on the Shore, Grace.
You may be wondering, what is War on the Shore? Well, it's Maryland's largest high school wrestling event. More than 40 teams will compete across 12 mats at the Rollin E. Powell Convention Center in Ocean City. Friday and Saturday, fans can jump between all 12 mats in real time and catch full replays on demand, all on DSN Plus. For subscription info, head to DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com or scan the QR code on your screen. And if you're having a rough week, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at CoastTV.com/sign up to get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you're having a good Friday so far here along coastal Delmarva. And if you join us for Coast Life at 4 o'clock, here's what's coming your way. Maybe you're making those Valentine's Day plans and you've got a wine and art lover in your household. Well, the Art League of Ocean City has the perfect event for you. Also, our pet of the week is coming your way. Look at this sweet face. 3 legs. His name is Bo, and he could be the perfect pup for you. We're also going to be discussing an upcoming Martin Luther King Day celebration. All of that and more is coming your way today at 4 on Coast Life.
Well, I hope you're enjoying this early thaw that we are having this week. It's been really nice, and we're going to be right back up into the lower and mid-60s this afternoon, ahead of a few showers this evening, but a better chance of rain comes, unfortunately, over the weekend. I'll break it down in my latest forecast next.
And the time's now 6:49 a.m. Getting our sunrise. Oh, Chris! Into Laurel, a beautiful sunrise for Laurel and for Delmarva. I always feel like when we get a nice one of this, it's like a good omen. This is like a great omen for this weekend, Chris.
Well, it's going to start off a bit rainy, but we're not going to be rainy all weekend. But our streak of really warm days are going to come to an end too. Unfortunately, it's been such a beautiful stretch here. 38 right now in Lewis, and you can see temperatures are quite chilly away from the beaches. We're at the freezing mark in Redden and Georgetown. 29 in Salisbury. That's all due in part to the clear skies and calm winds that we've had. We have a light southeast wind coming in right off the ocean, so that's why we're a little milder there with that wind coming off the warmer Atlantic Ocean. Now we will continue to see clouds increasing throughout the day today. You can see this area of low pressure over the Great Lakes. That's going to continue to kick off to the northeast, and then eventually this warm front and cold front are going to be swinging through the region. But we have a mostly cloudy day ahead of us. 64 in Seaford and Georgetown. We'll be at 54 in Bethany Beach, 56 Ocean Pines to 64 in Princess Anne. So there's the clouds increasing. A few spotty showers will make their way into the area after about 7 o'clock tonight. Not going to amount to all that much. Overall, it's going to be a mild night. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s and 50s. Some areas of fog are possible. Then there's that steadier rain rolling in late Saturday morning through the afternoon. This rain will be heavy at times throughout the day. Then we see a bit of a lull, and then that cold front will not swing through until overnight Saturday into early Sunday morning. So expect a few spotty showers, very mild and damp evening on the peninsula for our Saturday, and then it turns breezy into Sunday behind the front. We dry things out. Skies will be become mostly sunny by the afternoon, and then those winds will pick up, gusting to near 40 miles an hour. Now, as far as rainfall goes, from late tonight in through early Sunday morning, we're looking at only order of a ½ inch to an inch of rain. Could see some locally higher amounts with about 1.25 inches across the peninsula. The winds are going to be out of the south to start on our Saturday, gusting to near 30. As we go into the afternoon on Sunday, the cold front's going to be pushing through. Winds are going to be shifting out of the west-northwest, gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour. We're at 64 degrees with increasing clouds. That evening shower, spotty shower early. Otherwise, most of the overnight is dry. Patchy fog develops. We're at 63 for our Saturday with that period of rain late Saturday morning through the afternoon. And that rain will be heavy at times. 63, temperatures fall to 50 on our Sunday. We see welcoming sunshine for the start of next week. Pretty dry, 42 into Monday, and then we'll rebound back into the lower 50s before another shot of cold air late next week. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. Looking across Delmarva, crews in Pocomoke City took down the steeple at St. Mary's Church. This comes months after a lightning strike damaged the structure and forced the sanctuary to close. Contractors say removing the steeple was a key step before repairs can continue.
The removal of the existing structure, and then after that we'll move into the manufacturing of the new one. So yeah, it definitely seems like a turning point in this whole project.
Services continue in the parish hall as restoration moves forward. The 180-year-old church hoping to be back in the sanctuary by Easter. And it's our favorite time of the day. Time for our adoptable coastal pet of the day. Matt Pensick, this is going to be cat number 6 in your pack.
I wish you wouldn't have divulged the fact that I have 5, but I guess it's public knowledge now. Yes, as it does every Friday, our pets of the day come to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA, and here we have Gremlin. Look at Gremlin, everybody. Gremlin enjoys looking out the window at all the birds and the squirrels, and don't let the name fool you. She is adventurous and very affectionate. So if you want to adopt Gremlin or any other pet, like we had Cranberry last hour, head on over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
Matt, she has the same hobbies as my grandfather, bird watching and looking at the squirrels out the window.
Okay.
Well, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You could send us photos. Even if you adopt Gremlin, tell us what makes your pet so special. Take a look at your screen now.
QR code top center. Scan it, get your friends to us, then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. And we have arrived at the part of the newscast where, in addition to our weather forecast, we offer our predictions for the Eagles playoff game with the 49ers. I'm going with Birds 23-13. Grace.
I'm worried I am going to this game, which is my first ever game ever in NFL history. I don't want to place a prediction because I feel like I'm going to jinx it. So I just hope everyone gets love to love and everyone has fun playing.
All right, Chris, your Birds.
Yeah, I'm going. I think the offense is finally going to click. I'm going with 35-17 Eagles, all right? And hopefully we're in a good mood here on Monday morning, or at least I'll be in a good mood. And Alyssa, our producer. 63 on Saturday. Rain will be arriving. We'll see a few showers tonight, but the best chance of rain comes tomorrow, late in the afternoon into the evening. 50 for our Sunday. Mostly sunny skies into the start of next week. 42, we drop back down to 42, so it's back to reality. And we're looking at a relatively dry week next week, and then towards the tail end of next week, we see a pattern change. More cold, and then we could see some rain and snow by a week from this Sunday. Grace.
Chris, snow? I know you're excited. Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News Today.
The Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage, count on download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Friday morning, everybody.